Hello everyone, so today we've come down to a commercial fishery. This happens to be Whitmore Fisheries in Lancashire. It's not somewhere I do any fishing these days, but I did a lot when I was younger and it's a great way to get into it. So I understand a lot of you may be beginners or you don't get to fish often. It's easy to just pop down for a day to a commercial. So we're going to have a session here today and see how we get on, and I'll hopefully give you a few tips and just give you another session to watch, because we all like watching people's sessions on YouTube, don't we, when we can't get ourselves. So hopefully I will provide that for you. Let's go. Well, we've got fishing now. We've gone for fishing on the bottom with a ledger rig. We might switch to float fishing later if the conditions allow. It's quite windy, that's why we've come down here, so hopefully you can actually hear us in the microphone. We're fishing with sweet corn, as I say, on the bottom, trickling in little and often, very, very close range. That's why I've backed off the water's edge, because I'm fishing literally under the rod tip. These places can be real smash 'em up type waters, so hopefully we'll get some action soon, although we haven't had anything yet. But there is fish in the swim. We've seen tail swirls, it's very shallow water, we've seen bubbles, so hopefully the next time you see us, we'll have a fish. Well, we've got the first fish of the session now. The first one we've kept on for this long. Probably a carp by the way it's fighting, I don't think it's a barbel. We swapped to float fishing because ledgering wasn't really working. We fucked one, this was really, really close range. As it often is at commercials. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to say when I'm playing fish. I'm only on a match rod. You don't really need much more for places like this. There we go, nice little mirror. In some of these clips, it's going to appear as if I'm reeling against a drag, something you should never do because it puts twist on the line that's going onto the spool. Now, unfortunately this is one of my older reels and the drag's a bit broken, so this is as much as I can tighten it up. I combat this using finger pressure on the spool or playing the fish on the back wind, but for the video I've played the fish on the drag just so that, the runs sound a bit cooler and you can hear when it's running on the video. There we go, first fish of the session. Lovely little mirror, about 3.5, 4 pounds, something like that. Standard commercial fishery fish. Lovely, got a good scrap on it on the match rod, that's why I use light gear. There's no need to rush him in or anything. You can enjoy the sport, so we'll pop him back. Uh-oh. Stuck around the rod too. He might lose his one. Okay. Those calls. Yeah, now we're back in business. So the line was actually caught around the rod tip. Just little things like that can often cost you a fish. So we had to quickly get that sorted before we went on any sort of a proper run. It's great fun playing them on this light gear, this softer rod. You're in no hurry. You can like montage these bits in, Well, better fish this time, guys. That one's probably 5.5 pounds. That's a nice linear mirror. You can see the line of scales down the side of the fish. That's what tells us it's a linear. People really like those, but nice to get another one. Hopefully we'll get into some different species as the swim sort of develops, but we'll put this one back for now. Well, we've got another carp on. This one's really going. Going right out into the middle of the lake. This is perhaps a bigger fish, this one. Well, I thought this fish was a lot bigger than it was, and it is a little bit bigger. It's probably 5.5, but it was actually foul hooked in the stomach. And when that happens, it can go on much better runs. I'm not really sure why. I think because they've got their head to power with. But it gave a hell of a fight, but it is only 5.5 pound mirror again. Bit of a gammy mouth, unfortunately. You see that a lot on commercial fisheries. This isn't a bad commercial fishery, but for the use of barbed hooks and people not knowing how to correctly unhook the fish, you get things like that, but it'll be okay. It's obviously not stopping and feeding, but good to get another one. We'll pop him back. I'm hoping this is a barbel. We don't have one on yet. You can now see it under the camera. But I doubt it. Might be. Not going on a big long run, just doing circles under the rod tip, staying deep. That's a good sign of a barbel. Carp. But oh well. This one went through a bit of a quiet phase, so nice to get another one. Another little mirror carp, guys. Pretty much the same as all the other fish. I'm hoping we get some common, some barbel, there's chub and all sorts in here, so I'm hoping we'll get something different for you, but just got to wade through a few of these to get to them. So one of the keys on venues like this is in the feed. You want to be feeding small amounts of bait very, very often and regularly. I'm talking like 5 to 10 grains of corn every sort of minute to 2 minutes, every time you get a spare second, every time you pop the rod down, anything like that. If you put in a ton of bait every half hour, you get a massive bed of bait on the ground. There's no competition between the fish and they'll just work their way through eating it all. Alternatively, if you don't feed fast enough, you won't get fish into the swim. So the way to do it is little trickles of feed regularly, and then you get competition between the fish and you get a feeding frenzy of sorts, not piranhas obviously, but a feeding frenzy of carp, barbel, everything's competing to try and get the food, so they'll be more keen to pick up your one hook bait if it's there on the bottom. Just a little tip. I'm hoping, guys, that this is a barbel, because it's fighting slower. It's going on a bit of a run now, but there was no initial takeoff, so I'm hoping we might just have a barbel on, which I really want to show you. Probably won't be now, so that. It's just a slower fight. It's fighting very under my feet. It's not going on runs in any direction. It's just hugging the bottom as much as it can. just circling under the rod tip. Just speak to another fish for the swim. I think it's a carp. I just saw the tail and I think it's a carp. As much as I'd love it to be a barbel, and I keep trying to talk one up, it's a carp. It's a carp for sure. Well, that's a bigger fish this time, guys. That one's probably 6.5, 7 pounds, something like that. I did think it was a barbel because it did stay deep a bit, but I was just trying to talk one up. But we'll keep trying and see if we can get something different, but there is a lot of mirror carp in here. That is the main stock. Nice to get a better fish. Another little mirror carp, surprise, surprise. That's actually probably the nicest looking fish of the session. That's in really good condition. So it's nice to see, but it's also the smallest one of the session. I think that's probably been lucky to get to 3 pounds. That's probably 2.5 pounds, but another one knocked off on the way to hopefully something else. Oh, we've got another fish. This one came on a prawn, one that we caught ourselves on the boat. We've been fishing mainly with sweet cod, but we just tried a prawn just to change it up. And we've got yet another fish. I am desperately trying to get something else. I imagine some people will probably get bored of watching the guy just haul out mirror carp. But I'm working on it. Another mirror carp there, guys, same size. What more can I say? Similar fish, and again, gammy mouth. These fish at commercial fisheries, they do spend their lives getting caught, and the fish condition does unfortunately reflect that, but it doesn't stop them feeding, as I say, so not to worry, pop them back.
Location is still key, even on seemingly featureless waters. Here, I've pitched up on the only corner of the lake where there are no fishing pegs, as this may offer the fish some sanctuary.
Can't hurry him on a tackle like this. We've just got to play them out. I think we foul hooked this fish again, so it might not actually be that much bigger. But just as I say before, it feels bigger because it's got its head to fight with. It always makes them harder to bring into the net because you can't flop their heads around. You're only attached to them from the back. Plink. I think what had actually happened was it was around one of the fish's fins, so I just felt it plink off, so now I think I might have it in the mouth and we might be able to land it a bit easier. Well, there's a nice common carp. That's the nicest fish of the day. He's probably only £5, 5.5, but it's nice to get a common because it's something different. And that fish fought really hard. I'm convinced the line was stuck around one of the fins and it was acting like it was foul hooked because we got him in and it was hooked in the mouth, so maybe he's just an absolute athlete. I mean, I play him easy, I'm playing him on light tackle. It was going to take a while to get him in, but gave a fantastic fight. But it's nice to get a common carp to finish the session with. I think this will be our climax because I don't think we're going to get a barbel. But that's a lovely fish. It's really hot today, so we'll make sure we get him back now. Well, I think that was a really good session. We had 8, 9 carp. We didn't get a barbel, unfortunately. Oh well, the guy actually fishing for the next peg, which is just 10 metres down, I think he only actually had 3 fish. He didn't have as lucky a day as us. But all 3 of his fish were barbel. It's weird that, because we were both fishing on the bottom. But anyway, yeah, as I say, it's not usually my cup of tea. I prefer fishing for wild fish, never been caught before, specimen hunting, that sort of thing. But it's always good fun. You forget how much good fun it is just to pop down to somewhere like this and just get easy bites and just enjoy your day playing fish. But I hope you learned a thing or two. I hope you enjoyed watching it. No disrespect to anyone who fishes these places. I spent years fishing these kind of places. I really enjoyed today. I hope you guys do too. Thanks for watching, and please watch the next video. Thank you.